Hello guys, are you already there? Yeah. Hi guys. My name is Janne and here we go again. We're live and we have to do the ritual. I'm going to sip my coffee and check if the streams are all right. But in the meantime, say hello in the chat and then we will get to it. Here we go. Hello to Instagram also. Okay, I gotta change the title for this Twitch. Let's see. And here we go. We can see the, or I can see the horizontal, or no, it's a vertical. For some reason, I always get those mixed up, like horizontal or vertical. I don't know if I'm the only one, but yeah, that's that's the way it goes. So yeah, today is a Webflow Wednesday. I just came up with that. I'm gonna go through some tips. I have a big list of small little tips. Some of them you will probably know, but hopefully there are some that you do not know or know but do not use, and you might get a refresher on those. I know that at least keyboard shortcuts, there are plenty of those that I do not use. So we're going to go through some of them and maybe what else do I have? Custom elements, some CSS tricks, some maybe SEO related stuff, and apps, Webflow apps. Of course, those are always exciting. Yeah, we'll see how far we get, but hopefully we can get a couple dozen tips. But yeah, let's start by checking out some templates. Yeah, I don't usually use templates, but it's been so long that I want to try out a new template, like probably a free template, and see how they do things. And oh, there's Learn GSAP. That's cool. I should try that one out. But anyway, what was my point? I just want to get a template so that you will not be watching like an empty canvas for the whole stream. So yeah, startup templates, aviation. Aviation is an easy field to break into, so I'm gonna check that one out. Use for free. Create a site. And yeah, I'm gonna check the chats. I actually do not have those visible, so just wait a sec. No, I can have that one. Yeah. Okay, here we have the template, and I actually have a better view for this. So, where should we start? Probably about from those keyboard shortcuts. So you can find the shortcuts from this menu, keyboard shortcuts. There's actually a keyboard shortcut for that. Shift and question mark. Let's see. Yeah, that actually works. I'm using this a bit differently layouted, a bit different layouts with my keyboard because I have some Finnish characters there. So all of these do not work for me, but if you have the normal keyboard, standard English keyboard, yeah, this will work just fine for you. Show shortcut sheet that we just used main navigation. So D, C, E, and P. Let's try those. D for settings. C, nothing. S for style. It was D. Probably I. Did I see E? Say I. E. Okay, E went to the apps. How about navigator? Z and P. Okay. How about preview? Alt and P. This would be handy. Or Option and P on Mac. How about commenting? There's no shortcut for commenting, which is yeah, there were just some updates for the commenting, but I find it a bit hard to use this commenting feature because every time I want to see the comment, I have to go here and then I have to close this commenting bar and go back to the like designer or the editing mode. And then I have to go back to commenting to see the next comment and so on. Of course, I'm not sure what would be the alternative. But yeah, anyway. Oh, and by the way, ask a question if you want me to, well, give some answers, opinions on something, hopefully Webflow related. We can go around and go through those questions too. Okay. One keyboard shortcut that I use quite a lot is command and enter, probably control and enter on PCs. And it takes me to the selector panel, which is very helpful. So I do not have to leave my fingers. So it was command and enter. And I can also navigate on the navigator using the arrow keys. So downwards goes to the inner element, and left and right goes up and down with the same level. So for example, I'm pushing right, and now I'm pushing left. But if I want to go inside this hero text wrapper, I can go and push down. If I want to go back, I go one up. If I press again up, it will go up to the parent element of that. And actually I can see that there's not those familiar like capital letters and spaces in this, in the class naming, which is weird because I thought that was a thing for the Webflow templates. Now I gotta check. Style guide. There is no mention of any kind of framework. Batting bottom, okay. How about variables? Colors, just colors. Okay, yeah. Channel log. Initial release. Yeah, not a lot of things. Okay, let's get back. Where was I? Keyboard shortcuts. So navigating is of course great, and there's Command D for duplicate, and of course Command or Control V and Control X and C for the basic copy pasting. But Command D is actually quite good. I like to use that because usually you have some sort of list like here, and you just want to add one more image, maybe a couple more. One thing I wish there was is that you could paste inside an element. Well, you can of course copy this and paste it inside when you have this selected, the parent element. It goes inside, but it always goes to the last place. So I wish I could have a different combination for it to go on the first place. I gotta actually see if there is one. Paste, paste, paste. Yeah, it seems to be non-existent. Okay, you can also move elements. That's nice, but I do not have a key for that bracket. So that's something a bit hard for me to do. Let's try. I have the ordinary brackets. So that and command and up. Okay, it could work with command and up. Yeah, that is a new one for me. That's awesome. I'm getting excited. Okay, what else? Command Shift A makes something a component. Before sibling. So yeah, move before. Let's try this one once more. So command. Okay. I'm not sure what is the difference with up and down and left and right. Well, if you want to take it outside the parent element, you can do that with up and down. But in this case, it seems to do the same inside that one element. Shift and question mark. Other. Okay, there are dragging stuff. Yeah, that's the basic one. Wrap element in a div. Yeah, those are actually some good ones. Wrap in a div and wrap elements in a link block. And there's actually for some flex boxes, but I like to use that original div block. So there's Command and G, which would be quite common for grouping elements. So that is for flex. But if you use Command Option G, let's say I want this button to be in a div block, I can do that like this. Again, Option Command G. Command Z for undo. And now that I'm here, I could press Command and Enter and name this like button group. And go down one, duplicate this, maybe go up, and make it a flex, like that. Cool. Okay. I'm going to check the keyboard shortcuts once more. Oh, quick find. Yeah, I'm going to show some dragging stuff. So if we have a button element like this one, I'm going to add a background like that. And if I want to add padding to the opposite sides, I can just push Option and drag these. And it will add the padding on the both sides, like opposite sides. But if I want them to be all around, opposite and non-opposite, I can click down Alt or Option and Shift, and it will add it to all the sides. Let's see if it works with the margin. Yeah, seems to work. And one thing I always use is Option and clicking these blue highlighted, usually numbers or any attributes, so it will reset it to the original form. It does not work with the orange highlights because they are inherited from another class. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, the quick find. I love that. So I usually use Command and K. And for some reason that did not work. Here we go. Command and K, and it brings up this search bar. And you can add things with this. For example, if I want an image, I can just start searching for it, and it will list all the images that I have here or classes that have the word image. But I could just choose that image and it will add it to the canvas. I have the button tertiary chosen, so it added it inside the button, but yeah, of course, I could take it away, navigate to some other place, let's say this div block, push Command and K and image. Here we go, here's an image. If I want it to be inside a div, Option Command G. Here we go, and I'm gonna name that image wrap. I'm gonna go down one step for the image, and I could name that too. Command return, enter. Is it return? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, and I could edit this too, or rename. Name the class. like that. Handy things, I gotta say. Yeah, I usually use that search bar quite a lot for all the basic elements, so it is faster than clicking this plus icon and scrolling down here and trying to find something. I'm gonna delete those. Like that. Okay, let's see. Oh, the basic tip that everyone tells you. Well, maybe not everyone, but you should know that if you have a whatever field, number field, like here, you can perform calculations here. So you can put a plus, let's say 1, and hit enter, and it will become the sum of those numbers. And of course, you can do some more complicated stuff. For example, I wanna have 32 pixels, but I want it to be rem value, so I'm going to divide it by 16 and write down the rem, and here we go. I have it done, like 2 rems. Now I see that it's not that good on the canvas, so I'm gonna multiply it by 3. Better. I could use my arrow keys to add like 1/10 of a rem, but I'm gonna hold shift and it will add 1 rem at a time. I believe pixels, if I had a pixel value, it would add 10 pixels at a time. Okay, what else? I have this huge list of elements. I can actually quickly show you that. Like this. I'm just trying to pick up the best ones. I'm probably going to go towards the apps because they are quite nice. So if you know Keegan or WebBay, he has a couple of quite cool little apps like Asset Bay. I need to install those, of course. Just a sec. I do not need that one anymore. Let's launch it. Quite a lot of alt text missing. So as you can see, I have the images, and with this Asset Bay app, I can add these alt texts in a better UI, if you may. So I can just write down this, write them down. Or if I wanna, can use AI credits. Let's say, here we go, AI for selected. And it generates them for me. Of course, this mainly works for English. So if your site is in another language, that's not helpful. But anyway, cool tool, even if you don't use the AI for that. And you have some free credits. Of course, you can buy more credits. And then you have to, I believe, select those and save selected. So it will actually save the edits you made. Okay, another one. SVG import, and I believe that's the divider bay. Actually, I'm going to show this one first. So this is a easy little way you can add these wave dividers or angled dividers. So there's a couple of these different presets for you. I usually use just a diagonal, yeah, something like that. I can choose this beautiful color. Choose if it's for the bottom or top. I'm going to choose a section. Actually, I'm going to use something like that. And top, and let's see, create. And here we go. Of course, with the image section, that does not work that well, but anyway, it's quite handy. And you can, of course, copy this to different sections if you want, and you can even rename this, and it should work quite good on different screen sizes. Here we go. There it is. SVG import. That's actually quite handy too. So I can paste an SVG. Yeah, actually, let's go and pick up an SVG code. I'm thinking what is the best place to get it. Actually, I want to have something more complex. Well, the icons are not that complex ever, so I'm not going to choose the sad one. I'm going to choose this globe. I'm going to download it as SVG. And actually, let's try it this way. I'm going to just copy, not that. Here we go, copy that. Go back to here, paste it in. SVG is bad, okay. Drop SVG here. Let's try this one again. Now it's better. And where did it go? It went to the inside the section. Yeah, I'm gonna drop it down somewhere here. And there it is. What it did, it generated this custom element, or a couple of custom elements, basically an SVG element that you can see inside the navigator. So if we traditionally use SVGs, we can use them as files, like image files, or we can use embeds. And the third option is to just kind of build it like this. So the first element is an SVG element, like custom element body with the tag of SVG. And there are all the attributes. We could actually delete some of this. Role, image, yeah. Aspect ratio, I don't want to delete those. And then we have paths. Actually, I have just one path. And this is already set to current color. So if I, let's say, change the section color, text color, I mean, to gray, it will change. Magic. Yeah, handy little tool. What else? What else? Yeah. Okay, of course there is Reloom. We have probably an app for that. Yeah. And I also have the Chrome extension. And Reloom is a quite cool thing. It can generate, let's see, I'm going to change the scene right there. Let's do a quick login, just check a second. Let's try a new project. I have probably showed you this a couple of times, but anyway, you can prompt and generate a sitemap. Cool directory for Finnish travel destinations. And let's generate a sitemap. And as you can see, it kind of does a little bit of this wireframing. We have destination guides, blog, contact, we have blog post. That's awesome. And then we can jump to the wireframing. It generates those. Zoom in a bit, and you can see it already generated some mock-up text content too. And the best thing is that you can just copy this to Figma or Webflow, even React and HTML. So this is already quite a good starting point. You can copy this whole page. Let's say I would like to copy this to Webflow. Yeah, it says the installed. Yeah. I do not have the style guide in here, but let's see what it does. I just paste it in. Yeah. It really needs the style guide to work properly, but we got something. Okay, but that was not the killer feature. It will be this style guide. And you can see that it already generated some styles for us. So colors, the typography, styling, and of course I can edit this. I do not want to use that. I want to shuffle the colors. I want to use a bit of blue. That is actually, yeah, I'm going to lock that one and shuffle them a bit. Finnish flag has a blue and white, so I could actually delete, let's say I cannot delete that one, so I'm going to delete that. Oh, that's better. I could choose a button style. I like that one for some reason. Cards. I don't know. Let's say edgy. I could add logos. I could pitch the concept, create another concept. Not from there, from here. New concept. Or I could just copy this. Actually, I should export it. And for that, I would need the app, the Reloom app, this one. Not gonna do it. There's a bunch of videos about that already. Okay, yeah. If there's someone watching live, leave me a question. And if you're watching later on, you can still leave a question. But I'm gonna pick one more tip, one more good small tip, and then we will call it a day. What would it be? Actually, yeah, it will be. I could, of course, go towards like things like FinSuite attributes. Those are very helpful, but people probably already know those. So I'm gonna go to here formally. There's probably a couple of apps that do this, but this is mainly for Webflow and mainly for multi-step forms. So if you want to have like those multi-step forms that ask, let's say, one or two questions at a time and have some sort of progress bar, this is for that. And of course, everything is editable editable, yeah, in Webflow, as you can see. That is actually quite good. This is not an image. You can like hover this. This looks so like a TypeScript. It is cool. Progress bars. Enter. Like progress to another step with enter. There's some logic. So if you have some sort of logic in your, let's say, questionnaire, you could have that. There's pro features and let's see the pricing. There's a lifetime deal too. I'm sucker for these lifetime deals. So yeah, not too much. This is for 1 year, so a little bit over 10 bucks a month. And there's of course a quite good free tier. Cool stuff. This is done by V Design. Quite a simple page. It looks good, don't get me wrong, but I was imagining something flashier after seeing the formally first page. Okay. So yeah, there were some small, maybe a bit bigger tips. And yeah, I'm probably gonna do some short form content from those. And I have a lot of those tips on my list. Hopefully I can get it done. Yeah. Many of those are the things that you learn when you use the tool for a long time. Of course, there's always something that you just don't find and you just don't end up using. For example, those keyboard shortcuts, they are very handy if you like actually use them. But it is easy to be lazy and use just your mouse. Yeah, I think that is about it. If you have some comments, like some requests for the streams, leave them down in the comments, and I guess